My name is John Randall. I'm a regional director for GoldenCare. Been with the company over 20 years, closer to 25. And we're very excited today to have Zach Parker from GTL on with us. And if you guys don't know this short-term care plan, you're going to really be blown away by what they did to expand it. And it's going to really make a difference in the industry. It's just a great little plan. Zach's been at GTL for 6 years. He was promoted to account representative after 2 years in the sales support specialist. And, you know, he's really done a great job over there. We have a great relationship with GTL. We've been with them all the years I've been here plus. So it's been a really good team concept that we developed with them. So with that, I'm excited to turn it over. Thank you, Zach, very much for coming on today. And I'm going to turn it over to you so you can go ahead and show your new product.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm very excited about the short-term home healthcare product. We got tons of new changes we actually went ahead and rolled out. I mean, the plan was already great, that in of itself, but we did add benefits that are, you know, awesome. Like was just mentioned, we're hoping to blow you away a little bit. We're really excited about this kicking off here, especially right before AEP, to make this a little bit better, just to give you another product to go ahead and offer in your portfolio. So let's go ahead and just kick things off here. So we're going to be going over short-term home healthcare today. We included some cash benefits now, as well as some innovative support and care services for any family caregivers that your client may be working with whenever they are diagnosed with either like a functional or cognitive impairment, to kind of ease the burden and stress that the caregiver themselves are also facing when that positive diagnosis does come across their way. But first things first here, we're going to be talking about short-term home healthcare, but I would also like to go ahead and bring attention to the fact that we now have a bonus program that just kicked off October 1st. So we recently rolled out our biggest fourth quarter bonus program. Home healthcare is one of the approved products to go ahead and receive bonus on, and how the bonus structure is laid out is displayed for you here on this slide. So if you can submit 5 to 10 apps during the fourth quarter, you'll be receiving $50 per app. The next tier up would be tier 2. That's submitting 11 to 25 apps, and you'll receive $75 for each one of those. And then last tier there is $100 per app if you can manage to send in 26 applications during the fourth quarter. So there is plenty of extra money that you're able to collect on during the fourth quarter here. You know, selling GTL is also a great way to keep your cash flow up during AEP, because we actually pay commissions as policies are issued. And when you do receive your commissions, you know, no one really likes to wait, you know, until January to receive commissions. So just selling GTL in the meanwhile is a great way to keep, you know, like I said, your cash flow up. And then you'll receive an added bonus, you know, early next year for any business that you did right during AEP. So a lot of bang for your buck there in selling our GTL products. Now, I would like to start by also giving a very warm welcome to some of you folks who may not yet have worked with GTL, or maybe just a little newer in general. I'd like to provide somewhat of a face to a name of a company you're going to be working with. So just a couple of quick notes about GTL. We're a company that's located out in Glenview, Illinois. You know, it's a suburb of Chicago. We're about 20 miles northwest outside of the city. And if you guys are ever in the area on vacation or whatever it may be, always feel free. You can either reach out to myself, Greg Esposito, or any of the other sales managers at GTL. If you want to go ahead and set up a site visit, we're always more than happy to, you know, have agents in, talk business, go ahead and give you a quick little tour of the building and facility, because it's a rather nice facility, as you can kind of see in the background of this slide here. It's a nice little opportunity for you guys to just get to know us a little better, maybe introduce you to some key folks you might be working with on the claim side, sales support side, whatever it may be. So please feel free to reach out to us if you ever want to go ahead and stop in. We were founded all the way back in 1936, and believe it or not, like, we just celebrated our 87th birthday a couple of months ago. So we're certainly no strangers to the insurance space. We're a mutual company. We're licensed to do business in 49 different states. The only state in which we do not conduct any business in is the state of New York. And financially, we are very well off. We boast an AM Best rating of A-, which is excellent by their standards. And I know it kind of means a lot to a lot of agents and clients that they're partnering with a company that is, well off financially and can actually pay out the claims that come across our desks. That being, the viable ones, of course, because we do have $0 of debt on our balance sheets. And something we always like to say, and it's true, is that we actually build our products to be used. We expect the benefits to be paid out on those viable claims that come across our desks, because we just want to make everyone happy. If they have insurance, there shouldn't be any reason why they're not able to actually collect on it, right? And further on, GTL, we're innovators in our own right. If you've heard of GTL, or if you've been working with GTL for a number of years, however long it may be, you know that GTL has a very storied history of rolling out these sorts of innovative, groundbreaking insurance products that we designed to provide our policyholders, as well as you agents, complete access to all the latest and greatest medical advancements and care throughout the industry. And I did mention we boast a lot about how well we pay out our claims, but we also pay them out very quickly. We get to brag about the fact that all of our staff is actually in the office, and your customer service, your agent calls, they're going to be answered by real people, believe it or not. So if there's ever any sort of instance where you call into us and we need to go ahead and speak to another department to get an answer on something for you, just know that they're only a short walk away from us in the office. So we can actually physically walk to them, ask them that question, and go ahead and get you the info you need as quickly as possible, because we know you guys are busy as can be. AEP is right around the corner. Hard to believe this year flew by that quickly already. So we try to go ahead and, shave off all time that you're spent waiting, letting you guys go about your business on a day-to-day basis as quickly as possible. All right, as part of a quick little example of one of the innovations we've rolled out kind of recently, I think we rolled this out a little earlier this year, is text to sign functionality on our agent portal. This allows you to actually collect signatures on any applications you're submitting via a text message from GTL to your client's cell phone. We still have a voice verification option that you guys can use to get your clients signed up, but the text to sign function is going to be your best friend, especially during AEP. It's going to save you tons of time. The text to sign function, that whole process takes maybe 30 seconds from start to finish to go ahead and collect that signature, whereas the voice verification call may require a little bit of coaching on your end, and those calls, average maybe 3 to 5 minutes to get those completed, and you don't have to worry about, waiting for your client to actually go ahead and complete that phone call. And you're also going to need great cross-selling tools to actually go ahead and sell home health care. We definitely have those available for you as well. Displayed on this slide here is going to be an infographic flyer that'll detail the plan kind of high level while going into the benefits a little bit into detail, but it's a great way to kind of show your client a visual on how the plan actually will work and how they'll actually go ahead and be able to file claims and what it's going to look like for them, how they're going to receive money, and so on. And then also we have a postcard. This is going to be for any of you who do a lot of mailings. You can go ahead and order these from our agent portal. Go ahead and send those out to any prospective clients that you do have wanting to show some sort of info on this product. It'll allow you to actually include your contact information so you know how to go ahead and reach out to them. And I'll go ahead and touch on how you can actually get these out to you a little later on in the presentation. And I did briefly mention our e-app. All right, we do have that voice verification or text to sign option. If you do want to submit any business via your mobile device, you can download our e-app from the App Store if you're using an Apple device, or on the Google Play Store if you're using an Android. However, I will have to let you know, if you plan on using that mobile app, you will have to be in person with your client, because the signature capture option on our mobile app is actually going to be a physical signature by your client's finger on your device you're signing them up on. Whereas that voice verification call or the text to sign function I briefly mentioned, that's available via our website itself on your PC or computer, just on gtlic.com. All right, so let's jump into a little bit more about the product now. First, I'm going to start by showing you where it is available to sell. All right, this heat map here I have listed on the left-hand side is where the plan is approved for sale, whether it's the older or newer version. The states I have highlighted in this teal color is where the new home healthcare plan has been approved. Now, I will let you know right off the bat, we are expecting Louisiana to be approved very shortly here. Within the next month or two, you'll find that available for any of you who do sell in Louisiana. So just keep an eye out on emails letting you know when a new state is added, because we will send out email correspondence letting you know that way. All right, now let's talk about why you might want to sell home healthcare insurance, or rather GTL's home healthcare insurance. So first, let's go over what Medicare actually covers. All right, that's going to be your skilled nursing on either a part-time or intermittent basis. All right, not full-time though, right? It also covers some home health care aides on a part-time or intermittent basis if needed as some sort of support services for skilled care. That's also going to extend to any physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech language pathology services. Kind of limited there. There's only 3 therapies options there, as well as medical social services that have been advised by a doctor for any emotional or social concerns related to an illness. All right, what Medicare doesn't cover, however, that's going to be your 24-hour-a-day care at home, meals delivered to the home, as well as homemaker services like shopping, cleaning, maybe laundry, even when services aren't related to your plan of care. And then lastly, there's going to be personal care by home health aides. That's going to be help with any bathing, dressing, or maybe even using the bathroom when it's the only care needed. These are rather big gaps. If people are needing some sort of home health care, if they have suffered a cognitive or functional impairment, they're going to need help performing these services that Medicare does not cover. That's where short-term home health care comes into play, and that's why you're going to want to sell them a policy. So let's go over some of the benefits that are included in the plan. All right, these are going to be the main home health care benefits available. As listed on this slide here, you can see there's skilled nursing care, general nursing care, physical therapy, speech pathology, as well as occupational therapy. That's a big one there. Occupational therapy, that's helping your clients regain the skills for the quote unquote job of daily living. Benefits extended onto the next slide. There are plenty of them. That's going to be chemotherapy in the home, enterostomal therapy. And real quick, if you guys aren't really familiar with enterostomal therapy that's going to be care that nurses specialize in for the management of patients with any urinary or fecal diversions or draining wounds and fistulas, fecal and urinary incontinence, as well as chronic wounds such as pressure ulcers and vascular ulcers. There's also respirational therapy and those medical social services. That's actually helping your clients with those social and emotional concerns that are related to an illness. It might extend to counseling or maybe even helping them find resources in their local community to go ahead and perform this level of care, get them back on their feet, so on and so forth. All right, so now let's go over how the plan is actually going to work. There are going to be 3 base plans to choose from. Issue ages on this plan range from ages 61 to 85, and there are going to be unisex rates for the base plan. All the services I just went over, how those benefits are paid out, are going to be spelled out in this chart on the left-hand slide here. There are going to be daily maximums that your insureds can actually go ahead and collect upon. Plan A is going to be the lesser of the 3 options available here. The daily max for a Plan A is $150. Plan B is $300. That's the middle ground. That's probably what we see the most policies written is going to be that Plan B. And Plan C, that's the most comprehensive plan we have. The daily max there is $450 per day. And this is a short-term home health care plan. So just to let you know, the maximum benefit period for this plan is 360 days. Now, this is short-term care, not long-term care, so it is less than a year. However, I'm hearing feedback from the agents out there in the field, from shows I've attended, trainings, whatever you want to call them. Agents are starting to write short-term care instead of long-term care now, just as a main benefit for them. Long-term care is rather expensive. The underwriting is very invasive. It's kind of hard to get people qualified. There are tons of health questions they do have to answer. Short-term care, they don't have to go through all of that. The premium's far less, and the underwriting on this plan is extremely easy. There are only 3 health questions they have to answer if they do want to take out a Plan B or A. If they do want the Plan C, there's only 1 additional health question they'll have to answer. And I'll touch on those health questions a little later on, but just giving you an idea of how easy it is to go ahead and select this plan and why you might want to sell this to your clients. All right, now I do want to bring attention to the fact that our home health aid has now been added to this main chart here on the left, whereas in years past, this was its own separate benefit and the benefits were a little less. Now we're offering $50 per day on Plan A. It used to be $40. Plan B, we're offering $100 per day. That used to be $80. And Plan C is now $150 per day, whereas that used to be $120. Not only that, the maximum benefit period on the home healthcare aid used to be a max of 60 days. It is now included on the main benefits themselves with a maximum benefit period of 360 days. So there are tons more benefits built into this plan now under that home healthcare aid benefit. And we also have a prescription drug benefit. I'm going to touch on that in a little further detail in a couple of slides here, but letting you know right now that's going to be another huge selling point on the short-term home healthcare plan that'll actually help them offset their policy's premium. So let's go over how this is actually going to work. We will pay a daily benefit each day your client does receive any of these following benefits from an approved practitioner up to their daily maximum. Those maximums I just went over, that's either going to be a 150 a day, 300 or 450, depending upon which plan you did sign your client up for. Right? And this is geared toward those with either a functional or cognitive impairment. So to qualify, they must be diagnosed with either one of those. And if you're a little unsure what a functional impairment is, that's just the inability to perform at least 2 of the 6 activities of daily living without any substantial assistance. And to spell out how much benefit is going to be available on this plan, if you want to go ahead and refer to the figures that are popping up right now on this slide, maximum benefit on a plan A, that's 360 days of benefit, $54,000, plan B, $108,000, and plan C is $162,000 of maximum benefit. Now, I don't know about yourselves or any clients that you may have, but chances are they're not going to have this much money laying around in a checking or savings account. These costs add up very, very quickly for the specialized care. We want to go ahead and prevent them from having to worry about, stressing over the fact that, how are they going to actually pay for all these medical costs? This isn't something that they should have to worry about dipping into their own pockets for, going into debt for any sort of health care. You want to write them a short-term home health care plan. They don't need to worry about this sort of thing. They need to be taken care of, from the financial aspect on top of just receiving their health care to go ahead and, get back up on their feet. Also included with this plan is restoration. So these benefits actually restore. You'll get a brand new policy after any benefits have not been received or paid on for 180 consecutive days. So we basically have 2 plans here. For one instance, they go ahead and collect. They're done with their care, 180 days passed. They now have a brand new 360 days worth of benefit to use in the future for anything else that may pop up for them. And just to draw attention, I want to mention this real quick. So this is a short-term plan. However, the benefit days work a little different. So there's 360 days of benefit. However, those days, they're not calendar days. We call them benefit days. So a day of benefit only counts against the policy on days in which they receive benefits. So let's say one of your clients, has a stroke and they need some sort of specialized care twice a week for however long it takes for them to recover. That 2 days a week, you can do the math there. That's going to last a lot longer than 360 calendar days for any sort of instance they have. So there's going to be tons of benefit built in. It doesn't have to just be limited to 1 year's worth of benefit, just benefit days they're collecting on. So it can definitely extend far longer than just 1 year for any given instance. And just to give you a quick little claim example of what it's going to look like when they do start collecting. So let's say, for example, you write a client a plan A, 65-year-old. Let's say they do suffer a stroke and they need to receive 10 speech pathology therapy appointments as well as 10 physical therapy treatments over a 10-day period. Here's how that benefit's going to pay out. So speech pathology benefits are payable at $75 per visit. All right, you can see that on the slide there, as well as physical therapy. That's the same amount of benefit they'll receive for each one of those. So those 10 visits for each of those therapy sessions, that totals $750 for each one. Total benefits paid for this one instance, $1,500. Now, the annual policy premium was just under $400. You can do the math there. They're already netting just over $1,100 for having this one plan. And this is just for that one example without any other benefits being paid on. So tons of bang for their buck when they do take out this plan, included with all the protection they're going to receive from the home healthcare plan. All right, now let's touch on the home healthcare aid benefits. Again, this is a new increase in benefits. We've received tons of positive feedback already from agents, who actually already have been selling this when we first launched this last week. So how this will work is GTL will actually pay out a benefit for each day your client does require the services of a home healthcare aid. Of course, depending on the plan you choose, because it does correlate to whichever plan A, B, or C that you did sign your client up for. And what's unique about the home healthcare aid is that the aid, they're there to help the client perform all those tasks that they cannot do on their own, whereas the other benefits built into the plan are more geared towards the rehabilitation of your client. All right, those specialized services, physical therapists, they're not going to come in your client's home and help them do laundry, help them get dressed. They're actually going to help them perform, exercises to get their muscles working correctly again. So home healthcare aid is huge because they're going to be unable to do these on their own. So these benefits are also payable. This is going to be for those who do not have the ability to perform any 2 of those 6 activities of daily living that I just mentioned. And a prior hospitalization stay is not required in order to receive any of these benefits. And now, benefit period, 360 days I mentioned. It used to be 60 days, so we're really excited about that. I'm gonna give you an example of how much benefit they can collect on the home healthcare aid benefit. There's tons of benefit built in. $18,000 with a plan A. Plan B is $36,000 per benefit period, and Plan C has $54,000 of benefit available for them. These increases are huge. It's 6 times the amount of what they initially were. All right, now let's go over some details on the plan itself now. So I do have to let you know that this policy is subject to a 6-month pre-existing conditions limitation. So what that really means is just a pre-ex is a condition or like medical conditions disclosed or not disclosed on the application for which any medical advice or treatment was recommended or received from a doctor within 6 months prior to the policy's effective date. So any loss due to a pre-existing condition will not be covered unless that loss begins more than 6 months after the policy's effective date. So what that's going to look like, let's say you have a client who was diagnosed with cancer or they were receiving treatment for cancer within 6 months prior to completing the home healthcare app. And they can answer the health questions, no. The applicant is not currently in need of home healthcare, assisted living, or nursing home services. So if they require home healthcare services or a home healthcare aid, benefits due to the cancer diagnosed within the first 6 months of the policy being enforced, that claim will not be valid, unfortunately. It's not until after the policy has been enforced for at least 6 months, future benefits stemming from that need of home healthcare or home healthcare aid services due to the cancer diagnosis would be valid. So they submit claim within those first 6 months for pre-ex, it's not going to be covered. However, they can go ahead and collect on those if the loss does occur after that 6-month waiting period from the policy's effective date. However, there is some good news. Anything non-pre-existing, those will be covered. Nothing to worry about there as long as it's not pre-existing. All right. So now we're going to get to the prescription drug benefit. This is huge. So how this benefit does work is that we will pay either $10 for any generic prescription your client is taking or $25 for any name brand they are taking. And this is separate from a home healthcare benefit they're receiving. The prescription they take does not have to be related to the diagnosis they did receive. It can be anything they're currently taking, getting refills on, so on and so forth. It can even be an antibiotic. Doesn't really matter to us. So to give you an example of how those claims are going to be paid out, again, we're going to refer to the 65-year-old who you signed up on a plan A. They're taking 4 brand name prescriptions and 20 generics over a 12-month period. If you do the math here, I have spelled out for you here on this slide. Total benefits paid for this one client is $300. Annual policy premiums, $365, $68. So, right off the bat there, that annual policy premium, you can kind of deduct that $300 from. They're basically only paying $65.68 a year for this coverage, which is less than $6 a month. All right. And also the prescription drug benefit, it's not subject to that pre-existing conditions limitation. They can actually go ahead and take advantage of this on day 1 of the policy for any future prescriptions they're getting filled or any refills that they are taking out. All right, now let's go over one of the other new benefits that we did add to this plan. This is going to be where our short-term care insurance actually enables some sort of support for not just your client, but their loved ones. So earlier this year, we partnered up with this company called TCare. And what they do is actually provide a lump sum dollar amount paid out to your client or their family caregiver in form of $3,500. In addition to that, they'll also be receiving targeted concierge and caregiver support services provided by TCare to kind of help them, make that transition of not just becoming a child of that parent they're taking care for, but a caregiver. We focus a lot on caregiver burnout, and what that really is just kind of all the stress, time off of work that caregivers having to take off for their parent. They have to take care of them now. They have to transport them to facilities, help them around the house, things of that nature. So that's why we went ahead and added this $3,500 benefit to help kind of ease their stress, kind of supplement any lost income they're suffering due to taking time off of work. maybe they're putting a lot of wear and tear on their car now, and now they need repairs due to something happening. They can use that money for pretty much whatever they need it for at that point. Just to touch on a little bit more about TCare, for those of you who are not really too familiar with them, because they are still a little newer with GTL, their whole mission is just making that process, that transition, so much easier for your clients' loved ones. They'll go ahead and provide tailored action plans. They can actually give tech-enabled insights on what's going to work best for anyone's situation. They'll lay out comprehensive resources, family care protection products. They're there to help all families navigate their caregiving journey, whatever it may be. I'll give you a quick example of TCare themselves and what it is that they offer. I actually had the pleasure of meeting their CEO earlier this year when we first partnered up with them. And he actually shared with us the story of how he had to care for his mother-in-law when she was diagnosed with an illness, and him and his wife actually had to end up taking care of her. What they did was take advantage of TCare's resources, and part of what they do is give a caregiver assessment, and they'll kind of let them know what they think they need help with, what risk factors they're at risk for. They were actually at risk for, some stress on their marriage. TCare recommended they go through marriage counseling to kind of help navigate their care, spell out how things are going to work, making sure they're not undergoing any stress between one another, butting heads, things of that nature. So they actually went through marriage counseling, and they were very well off because of it. He stressed, very strongly to us that he doesn't know what would have happened if they did not go through that. If TCare didn't offer that sort of insight, it could have been a totally different scenario. So TCare provides plenty of care, not just in navigating resources, trying to lay out where they're going to go for help, but focusing on other areas like stress that other people might be, experiencing when they do have to start giving that caregiving journey. All right, now we have some riders I'm going to go into real quickly here. Just to mention, TCare, this is included in the base plan now itself. This is not a rider you do have to take out. But the first rider I do want to touch on is going to be the accident and sickness hospital indemnity rider. How this one will work is that your clients will receive benefits up to $300 per day if they are confined to a hospital. You can either choose a 3 or 6 day benefit to be paid on with this rider. And restoration looks a little different here. This fully restores after 60 days of no hospital confinement, unlike the 180 restoration period that we have on the home healthcare base plan. And there's unlimited benefit period restorations with this rider itself. Home healthcare is limited to 1 restoration for the life of the policy, but this can restore as however long they have this policy in force. And I will let you know right now, premium rates are based on attained age for both home healthcare and the accident and sickness hospitalization rider. So the rates will increase on the policies of anniversary date after they do enter another age band. All right, I'll spell out how those, how you can actually find that info a little later on in our rate guides and other marketing material. Next up, we have the accident ambulance benefit rider, excuse me. This will go ahead and pay $200 for any ambulance services that are needed to or from a medical facility. They do not have to be admitted to a hospital if they are taken there. We know ambulance trips are expensive, and they have a copay for them if they have a Medicare Advantage plan that they're going to be responsible for paying. Shouldn't have to worry about that. All of the sales folks here at GTL believe this rider should be written on every single policy that you do submit. Reason being, it's very low cost. It's less than $5 a month to take out this rider. So you can see there the $200 offsets that cost in the first year if they do go ahead and take that ambulance trip. It can be paid up to 4 times per calendar year with a lifetime benefit max of $2,500. And the premium rates on this rider, they're based on issue age. These rates will not increase as a policy holder does age. And that also holds true with a critical accident rider. This rider will pay a lump sum dollar amount after an emergency room visit for any of the covered events that you see on the right-hand side of this slide. There are 2 different plans you can sign your client up for. There's going to be a $5,000 and $10,000 plan. The only differences between the 2 plans is the amount of money they will receive from GTL for any of those covered events. And next up, we got the dental vision rider. This one has annual benefit options available from $400, $800, or $1,200. How this one works, so there's a couple of different waiting periods that need to take place. So in the first calendar year, there's going to be a $100 deductible that needs to be satisfied. We'll go ahead and pay 80% of actual charges up to 50% of the maximum benefit level chosen. In the second calendar year and afterwards, they still have that $100 deductible. Now 80% of actual charges up to 100% of the maximum benefit level chosen will be available. As for those other waiting periods, the first one up here, we have a 3-month waiting period. After that's been satisfied, you can collect up to $75 for any preventative dental appointment per calendar year, as well as $50 for any basic eye exam or refraction that's needed per calendar year. Then we got the 6-month waiting period. After that, you now have benefits available for any fillings or root canal treatments that are needed, up to that rider maximum per calendar year and the insured's percent. Also, $200 for prescription eyewear or contacts. As we all know, our eyes are changing every single year, especially as we age, they'll be changing a little bit more. Chances are they're gonna have a new prescription, they'll need new glasses, they'll need new contacts, whatever it may be. So we'll go ahead and pay them $200 to help pay for those. And then 12 months. After that 12-month waiting period has been satisfied, you got coverage for bridges, crowns, dentures, partials, treatment relating to the replacement of natural teeth, outpatient dental surgery, full mouth extractions, or fluoride treatments. Now, this is important to note here at the bottom of this slide. If your client does have existing bridges or dentures that need to be repaired or replaced due to an injury, that 12-month waiting period is not applicable. They can go ahead and collect benefits on those if that ever does happen due to an injury. And I just kind of want to spell out real quickly and display for you how the dental vision rider benefits are going to be advantageous to your client and how much benefits available for them each year. They have $325 they can collect year in and year out by taking out this plan. $75 on the dental exam, $50 on the eye exam or refraction, and then again, $200 for any eyewear or contacts that they do need. Annual policy premium for a 65-year-old who takes out that $1,200 rider, $443. They have $325 they're receiving every year. Net cost is going to be $118 a year or less than $10 a month. All right, and that'll pretty much do it for the benefits on the plan itself. I do want to touch on some other information such as the rates and underwriting involved with the short-term home health care plan. So how this is going to work is that, again, these are attained age rates on the home health care plan. The premium rates will increase when your client enters a new age band and then they reach that effective date of the policy or the policy's anniversary date occurs. So how that's going to be working is laid out for you here on this chart I have displayed. So step one in finding your client's rate, you're first going to find their age band and the rate that corresponds with whichever plan they agreed on signing up for. You go ahead and find that rate there, jot that down if you're calculating your rates by paper. And then the next step is going to be find their monthly caregiver rate. You can go ahead and find that by their issue age there. You go ahead and add step 1 and step 2 together and find their base plan's monthly rate. But important to note, this caregiver rate, this is issue age. The home health care rate is attained age. So the caregiver rate will not increase over time. This is a flat dollar amount that they're going to be paying for the life of the policy. When it comes to the payment types and modes on this plan, you can either opt for a bank draft or a direct bill. If they do want a bank draft, they can do monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. If they do want a direct bill, important to note here, we do not offer a monthly direct bill option. It would have to at least be quarterly. And any client wanting a direct bill, you'll have to sign them up on a paper application and go ahead and send in their premium for that first mode of payment along with that application. However, if someone does sign up on a bank draft and want to switch to a direct bill, that is totally fine. You can still sign them up online. You don't have to use paper. If they do want to make that change, they would just have to call into our customer service department and request that change be made. Make it pretty easy for them. And the rates continued for the rest of the riders that we do have. First one's going to be the accident and sickness rider. These ones are attained age rates, so these rates would increase over time. I have the ages here, 40 through 85. Just go ahead and disregard that. That's a bit of a typo that we have here. The issue ages are 61 through 85, so pay no mind to that. Continued on is our critical accident rider rates. These ones are actually rated female and male rates. And I always thought this was kind of funny that the female rates are a little bit more expensive than the male rates are, because I know like folks who know me, and especially my mom, like she knows boys seem to be a little bit more prone to accidents than women are. So it's just kind of funny that they're a little different there in that regard. But just take note that they are, rated differently, female and male rates. They're not the same for all. And then the rest of the rates are spelled out for you here. Got those dental vision rider rates as well as the ambulance rates. These ones issue age only. They will not increase over time. And you can see that monthly policy fee detailed as well. If you're quoting anyone online, that monthly policy fee will automatically be included into their premium. It's not a separate bank draft or anything like that. We can go ahead and break it up on however often they are paying for the policy. All right, that'll take me to underwriting. So very simple here. I mentioned it's only got a couple health questions for plan A or B. This is a simplified application here. So it's a yes/no app, meaning if they answer any of these questions yes, they'll not be eligible for coverage. If they can answer all of these no, they'll be approved just like that. At the end of the application, you'll receive a policy number. Following day, you'll see policy documents available on the agent portal. We'll also send out them a policy, including a card and some product policy information as well. If you want to go ahead and take a picture of these, feel free to do so. You can go ahead and pre-qualify any clients you already have in mind you want to write, see if they have any of these ailments or conditions we're spelling out on the application itself. You can also download this from the agent portal. Go ahead and save it on your PC to make it a little easier to reference. As for filing a claim, rather simple here. All of our claim forms are available on our main website. You don't even need to log in as an agent to find any of these. Just go ahead and click on File a Claim on GTLIC.com. Every product's claim forms will pop up for you. For any home health care and home health care aid benefits, all you need to do, have your client complete that claim form, include the plan of care from their licensed physician, as well as a proof of service. Now, they do not need to keep submitting a brand new claim form for any subsequent services to the initial claim that they did go ahead and send in. We would just suggest those claims be sent in monthly, make it a little easier for them to receive benefits there. As for the prescription drug benefits, these are really easy to go ahead and collect on. All you need to do, have your client send in a prescription receipt. They can go ahead and visit their pharmacy, get a printout of all their prescriptions they've had filled or refilled over the year. We do suggest those get sent in annually. All right, makes it a little easier to just cut them a check and send out a lump sum dollar amount to them. Makes it a lot easier to keep track of. And then we have additional rider benefits, ambulance, hospital indemnity, dental vision, accident. Just include the claim form, proof of service, and you just send those in per event they suffer. All right, getting ready to wrap up here now. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with some marketing material information. We have a client brochure. We have that infographic I mentioned, as well as that postcard. You can go ahead and submit orders for these on our agent portal or by calling into our sales support department. Their contact info is listed for you here. It's also going to be on the next slide as well. We'll go ahead and send you out whatever it is that you do need free of charge. Just go ahead and get those submitted and sent in. Typically takes about 2 to 3 business days to receive those from when we do receive that order. We also have a couple of consumer videos that you can go ahead and access. I know the video was included in the mass email we sent out to the field announcing the product change that we do have. That's a very, very crucial piece that you want to have in your back pocket to go ahead and market this plan to any of your clients. I've received tons of positive feedback from the agents that actually do use that video, where they actually just send them that video and the client's responding back to them. It's like, okay, how do I sign up? Very little effort, needed in those sorts of instances, just by sending them a video and getting a new app out of it. I think that's really cool. You can find that video on our agent portal under the GT link section under consumer marketing. You can also post that video to your agent website if you have one. You can share it on social media, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it may be. It's already been approved by our compliance department to distribute as you see fit there. So please have a field day with that and share it pretty much anywhere you can. But that is pretty much everything I had for you on home healthcare. I'll go ahead and break now. I don't know if there's any questions or anything you would like me to touch on before you do go ahead and log off, but I'm going to go ahead and leave you with sales support's information. You can call or text this number that is listed for you here. That is 800-323-6907. Or if you want to go ahead and shoot them an email, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Their email is agency@gtlic.com. I'm also going to provide you my email if you want to go ahead and jot that down. If you have any high-level issues or questions that you have, you need important assistance on, my email is zpark@gtlic.com. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over now if you guys want to go over any questions that may have popped up, but I would like to thank you in advance for all the business you send in to us, all the work that you do for your clients. I know they appreciate you immensely, as well as GTL, because you guys are doing a really good thing, giving people coverage on, covering gaps that they don't really know that they have. So thank you for that.
Thank you much, Zach. That was a great presentation. That product looks like it's been enhanced to be a automatically good seller. So I want to thank everybody for coming on again today too. I want to see if there is some questions. I think we'll send those out to you,
Okay.
or we'll go ahead and answer them here. We can get most of them. But I want to thank you again, Zach. I want to thank everybody for getting on the webinar today, taking time out of their day. If you do have any questions, go ahead and give us a call here at 800-842-7799. And if you don't have that product yet, definitely add it to your portfolio. So thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Everybody enjoy the rest of the week.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. And you're partnered with a great carrier. We love GoldenCare. You guys are doing great things. So you're in the right place to sell.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day,
Zach. Have a great day, everybody.
GoldenCare is always here to serve you with new tools, new products, new ideas, and new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 and check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.